So what time is it? It's Moringa time. Hey, what's up everyone? It's Dave Stone with another exciting episode of Develop Awesome Skills, and today is gonna be Moringalicious or something like that. Anyways, I'm gonna be turning one Moringa into 20 Moringas. And I'm also gonna be using this one. So I'm not gonna do it with this one here, but I am gonna also trim this one. So I wanna plant a lot more of these Moringas. We have a few more months of really good weather here in Arizona, so I really wanna get a lot of these cuttings in the ground and see how they do as well. So we're gonna start here, we're gonna move to Maui, and I'm gonna give Maui a huge, huge haircut. So come with me. All right, so what I'm gonna do to this tree is I'm gonna take, this is a V branch. So first off, I'm gonna take this off here. And this, you see the U-shaped V. So I'm gonna take one of these big ones off. But before I do that, I'm going to harvest these leaves so they don't fall on the ground and I can stay sanitary. The easiest way to harvest is just break them all off and keep the stems in one hand. If you pull this off the tree and then you let it lay on the ground, there might be some bacteria or something on the ground. So since this is a food, you want to treat it with some care, and you don't want to just put it on the ground when you harvest it. So hold it when you're harvesting, bunch it up like this, and you want to break off all the branches, everything you're going to harvest. Now some of these might be able to be planted, but I'm not going to plant that little one. I'm going to leave that one on. I have a bucket over there, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. So once you get a whole handful of these, leaves, this is how you dry them, is you bunch them up. Well, this is one way to dry them. There's actually quite a few ways to dry your leaves. But hanging them up in the shade works really well. You don't want to dry your leaves in the sunlight because it will change the nutritional property. It'll still be healthy, but it'll turn yellow, and it just won't be as nutritious as if you kept it green and dried it in the shade. So I'm going to take all these little guys off. Now, you don't have to transplant these, but I'm going to. So some of these I could just drop on the ground. It's great fertilizer. We can just throw it right in place. Okay, so now I have, you can use anything you want, but I have this gardener's tape, kind of plastic, but it's very flexible. So this is the kind of stuff that I like to use. So what I'll do is I'll rip off a nice piece, and then I'll start wrapping it around like this. And then I'll take this one and I'll wrap it underneath it. And then I'll just keep wrapping. Really tight. You really want it to be tight. And then I'll pull out this little piece that I just had at the front and I'll tie them together. You can do this with rope, or, you know, I tried a zip tie before. You can try it too, but zip tie is not my favorite. For some reason it just, they started falling out of it when they were drying. And this one's kind of like rubber band. Now rubber band will work really well too, really thick rubber band. So once you get this tight, one more knot, then you just hang this on a shelf or whatever for a day or two in the house, in the shade. So don't let direct sun hit it. But don't put it in a sealed container because it'll rot. So I'm just gonna hang, I cleaned out this bucket earlier, so I'm gonna drop this in the bucket. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this branch off. So I'm just gonna take it right here down at the base at an angle. And this is what we have. So now that's gonna be a single stock tree, which I think is pretty cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little cuttings. So all of these are going to be different cuttings. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that one prune that I just did is gonna give me 5 more moringas. So I'm gonna cut these and drop them in the bucket because there's still leaves on them, and I wouldn't mind harvesting those leaves. I am gonna top this one. Scaredy cats. Okay. So there it is. I'm going to plant this cutting, this tall one, by itself. So I'm going to chop the top right above this node. And then this is going to be a nice cutting that I think is going to be a big tree. But all those little cuttings are going to work too. They're going to sprout. This is going to make a nice tree. So now we are going to move to Maui, the moringa, after I have my little moringa now that's got a haircut. So we're going to go straight over to Maui. I'm going to leave this on the ground and I'm going to come back to it. All right, so here's Maui. I've already transplanted her a whole bunch of times. So today is the day of reckoning, and then there's still a few more months in this summer, so I really want to get a jump start on some of the cuttings and planting some larger moringas. So she's going to get a big haircut, and you guys are going to be able to see how long it takes for her to regrow her hair. So my idea is I want to leave the one branch on the top going straight up, and this is a pretty thick trunk here, so I want to take it down as far as I can. So I'm going to take it down, I think, right about here. It's going to take off the whole top, which is going to be pretty heavy. I need a little height. Kind of taking some of these bigger branches down. Bring the bucket a little closer here. I'll harvest these ones after I cut them. But keeping them sanitary, I will put them in the bucket still. One. Here's 2. Turning 1 moringa into 20. There's number 2. There's number 3. Number 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that's a big one. 10. Wanted to make it a little bit lighter first.
So you're gonna have another big tree.
Yep.
That's great.
So
I like how you style those branches. Like,
oh baby.
Get out of the cat.
She likes moringa. So now we're gonna chop it down. I'm going to take it down to here.
Really fast.
Yeah, it cuts quick. Pretty soft wood. Come on, buddy. Oh, there it is.
Dude, that's epic.
Maui the Moringa will get transplanted and she will look amazing. So now I have to harvest all these leaves because I don't want all these leaves on it when I go to transplant it. The leaves are all gonna make it die. So I'm just gonna start throwing them in here.
So those are gonna be more plants.
These are gonna be leaves we're gonna harvest.
Oh, harvest.
But this could be 10 more plants. But I have an idea and I want to show you.
This is your big harvest. This is your big harvest.
This is the big harvest right here. So now we got to dry all these leaves. We're going to get some powder. And I think we'll probably end up getting another harvest before the end of the year. Because I guarantee this little guy, with this trunk, is going to shoot back up. I'm going to clean it bare so you guys can tell on November 7th, or no, wait, September 7th, I chopped this bare. So we'll see what happens by December. I'm excited to see. I think it'll be just as tall.
I think it will be too.
They might. Successful. It's a lot of moringa.
It is. This is exciting. It's so much moringa. We're going to make a lot of powder. And I want to tell you, I cut it down here about 7 weeks ago. This, everything I just cut down is all brand new. This is all brand new stuff. This grew in the last 7 weeks. So, moringa loves the heat. And if you give them a nice amount of water, they will grow really well. Moringas are a drought tolerant tree, so you don't have to water it a lot. And in its early years, if you allow the tree to get stressed a little bit with water, there are some studies out there that show that that will allow the adult tree to drink less water to thrive. So I haven't tried that because I like watering my stuff, but I'll probably try that in a different part of my yard. So if you guys can see where this is going, if I keep most of these branches on this stalk and plant it like this, just bare, it might be a pretty cool tree. But maybe I just chop all these off and do separate trees too. We're gonna see after I pluck it. Yeah, I probably actually would rather take them off now that I look at the tree. Maybe I'll leave like one or two.
Yeah, so it's your tree. You know what you're doing.
Well, it's all experiments, you know. We gotta just experiment with what we have, and I'm actually doing this experimentation for you guys to try to save you some time when you guys plant your moringas. So hopefully these videos can help save you time, allow you to realize that you guys can grow your own food at home. And moringa is a food. It's a mega food. The only known mega food on the planet. What's a mega food? It's more than a superfood because it's the most nutrient dense food on the planet. Well, supposedly, there is no other trees that are as nutrient dense as moringa, which, as I research it more and more, I'm truly amazed and stunned at what this tree has to offer medicinally and for the earth. Okay, so now we can kind of tell what that tree is going to look like. Got a lot of leaves there. Well, if I was live right now, I can ask you guys if I should plant it like this.
Wonder what they said.
What do you think, Josh? You think I should plant it like this and top all of these off? Or make these all into individual trees?
I don't know, whatever you want to do, man. But like, I think it'd be cool if you made some individual trees out of those. Those are really thick stalks. Like, might as well try it. They're pretty far along, so that's
I got an idea. Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna leave one branch on each one of these. So I'm gonna take this off. Take this off. That's gonna make a nice tree. Take this off. Take this off. And I'll take this off. And then
oh, you gotta top those, huh?
yeah, I just don't want any leaves on the branches right now because
see, 'cause it'll
I want it
focus.
to make fresh ones. There it is. That's gonna be awesome. I should have left one over here, but it's all right. That's gonna make a cool moringa tree. And it'll be planted a lot lower because I'll be putting it about a foot in the ground, so it's gonna come right up out of the ground like that. Check it out. I got a nice trunk here that we just cut down. So I think Maui here is going to be shooting up quite a bit in the next couple months. I'd say in the next 3 weeks, we're probably going to see a lot of growth. So I'll keep you guys in the loop on how Maui does with all these different branches that it can sprout from. But I'm excited about this one. You know, we took it down to 3 branches and a big stalk. And you can see here, this is probably 12 inches right there, which it'll go into the ground about that much. So it's gonna be close to the ground, these branches, which would be cool to have some different shaped trees in the yard. I don't know if it's the right thing to do to leave these 3 branches on here, but I think they're gonna get a lot of nutrients from this big fat stalk. It might be a better idea to take them all off, but I'm gonna try it with them on, and we're gonna see what happens. Maybe. I might change my mind later, but you guys are okay if I change my mind, right? So you can strip off the leaves now, and you can put them in a dehydrator, or
Everybody watching you.
everybody watches me when I'm doing these videos on the street. That's okay, they drive by really slow because I have the only house on the block with wood chips and mulch and fruit trees, and right now a huge RV in there, so that's kind of funny too. But anyways, you can dry them in the kitchen, in the shade. You don't want the sun to hit it while they're drying, but you can either pluck the leaves off now. But the problem is with doing that, you need a lot of the mesh screens because you don't want them to clump up and not dry evenly. So I like the hanging method. It works well for me in a small facility. So it's like at your house, it's easiest to do this. If you have a facility where you can have big mesh screens lying around and a drying room, then that's a different story. So yeah, but we have a lot of harvest here. So I'm gonna get going with all this. I'm gonna get all these cuttings organized. I'm gonna see how many cuttings we have, and then I'm gonna dry it, and we're gonna drink some tea, and we're gonna eat some leaves. You can get pretty fast because all you really need to do, you don't really need to prune these off. You just snap them with your fingers. I mean, they come off pretty easy, you know, if you want to make them nice and easy. But I got to go through this whole batch. I got to do some organizing so I can actually hang these up. But I wanted to get all the cuttings out of here. And now this moringa, the U-shaped one that I cut the big branch off of, that one is a giant leaf moringa. I mean, you'll see these once in a while, these huge leaves on these moringas, and that is one of them. So I can't wait to plant these cuttings and see if these turn out to have giant leaves on them as well. And I've been finding that even small cuttings like this, thin ones, will sprout. So people say they won't, but I've already had them sprout. Well, I haven't done them long term, so we're gonna see how they do long term, but here it is. This is my haul. Oh, here's another one. Maybe I'll try this one like a little U. See if that sprouts like that. Okay, well, there it is. My little first batch. Nice and pretty, ready to hang. So I'm going to show you after I get all these hung up in my kitchen. I'll show you, and then yeah, make some moringa powder. So let me count these and see how many cuttings we actually have. Here's another one. I'm just going to drop these leaves on the ground. And they'd probably be fine to eat, but I just want to stay sanitary. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And then this one, 24. And then the other one, giant leaf moringa, is 25. And I could have 26, 27, and 28, which the more I think about it, I do want to cut it. So 26, 27, and 28. So here is the giant leaf moringa that I cut the trunk on. And I want you to see this, because these are, I've showed them in other videos, but these are the most enormous leaves I've ever seen in a moringa. I've seen some other people post their pictures on the I Want More Moringa Facebook group with leaves this big. So it's definitely a phenomenon when you look at it up against these other leaves. Like, those are normal moringa size leaves. And this is just some giant leaves on this one. So I think that's pretty cool for your salads to have some nice spinach size moringa. It's really good. So I'm going to eat a few of these giant moringa leaves to give me a little refreshment after chopping down some trees. I want you to see this too. If you remember that other video I did, this is where I topped it. I topped the branch right there. And this huge branch grew up out of it, and it's growing up. So it's a branchy branch. And now off the top of this, I got like 3 different branches coming up out of here. This one here, same thing. I topped it right there. Now look at all these branches coming up out of it. It's just, can't really see that. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Chopped it right on the top there, and we got all these different branches just shooting up out of it. So moringas grow really fast. They like the heat, they just don't like the cold. So take care of them in the winter. Protect them from the cold. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to plant these moringas. I'm gonna do that tomorrow for you, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. I might actually plant some right along the west side of my property where the RV was, so they can actually start growing up. Probably some of the big ones, and I'm gonna start doing a couple moringas as my canopy trees right now, with this big branch here and this big branch here, and get a nice jump start on these trees. If I have to shade them and if I have to do some stuff in the winter time, I gotta do what I gotta do. But right now I want a lot of moringas, and I need some shade in that backyard. It's just it's just got too much sun. So I need a microclimate, and I'm gonna start building it with moringas. So, all right guys, if you like this video, give me a big green thumbs up and share it with everybody, because I want people to know they can just take their moringa tree and make cuttings and plant those cuttings, and those cuttings will grow. Same with seeds, but now you get an identical genetic match to the tree that you cut from. So this is a genetic identical match to that giant leaf moringa over there. And I'm interested to see if this one produces the giant leaves. So we will find out. This is my test ground. So Stonehaven is my test environment for moringas. It's my demo farm, my test farm, whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna have a lot of moringas in the ground here in the next year or two, and we'll see how it goes. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Definitely comment below, because if you like this video, or if you have any questions or comments, or you want me to do a video on something else, I really appreciate a lot of the comments that I'm getting, guys. Surf View, I believe it's John, and I want to say, hey, thank you so much for all the information that you've been giving me, man. I really appreciate it, because man, you're opening up my world. Like the clay bottom ponds, we were just talking about that the other day, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm gonna do a lot more research on that. So just like John, Surf View, I want everybody else to give me good suggestions and thoughts, and if you see anything I can improve, if you think I can improve something on planting something, or I should plant something, I'm open to suggestions. Nice microclimate builders. I watch a lot of Jay Behringer's stuff, and castor beans are good, so I got a few of them planted. But moringas seem to be one of the fastest growing things. So starting my microclimate now. And guys, we're planting 1 million moringas in 5 years. So join the movement at the I Want More Moringa Facebook group. We're growing like mad. There's a whole bunch of people on there posting some awesome pictures of their moringas. If you have any comments or questions, put them down below about these moringas. I will let you know how they're doing. I'm gonna do a lot of updates on these. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for caring about the environment and the earth, and caring about watching me and my crazy ideas of growing moringas in mass quantities. But a lot of you guys are growing them in mass quantities too, and that's what I love. I have commonality with a lot of you, my kindred spirits. So all right, guys, well, thanks for watching again, and until next time, develop awesome skills. I love you all. So what time is it? It's moringa time. Are you rolling? All right, so what time is it? It's moringa time.
Tomorrow.
All right. Because it is getting kind of dark right now. Oh, that's why it's dark. My sunglasses were on.